Welcome back to The Grind, and in this video, we are going to talk about Sola, the new defensive rider of this season, and it is only available during this season if you get the branch, and if you don't complete the entire branch, you will not have enough of the resources in order to get all the skills. And the skills are very nice because this is a defensive rider and it has building attack and building HP stats, but that is not what makes this rider shine. There are many other riders that do these things much better. The thing that Sola shines with is construction time. It has been a long time since we've gotten a construction time rider, but more so a long time since we've got one that was better than any of the previous ones. So you can see you can get 3% here, another 3, so 6% here, another 3, so 9% here, and then 5 more, that's 14% construction time reduction, which is 2% more than the previous best, which is actually the generic Atlas rider. Once you get Atlas, it's very easy to get that rider, and then you just have to level it up with Glory, and that gets you to 12% construction time reduction. Now, this may seem small, and that's because it kind of is. It really depends on where you're at. That 2% really makes a big difference whether you're spending 2,000 or 3,000 hours of speed ups in an event, or if you're spending 200 hours of timers in an event. So newer players, even up to level 300 or 400, I really don't recommend investing in this line because you're not going to get that much benefit from it. Now, if you don't have Atlas, then I think that this is definitely a rider you need to get, because otherwise you probably don't have a very good construction time reduction rider. And if you don't have Atlas, you can't easily get one. You're at the subject to whatever comes out in the next season, and I can more than likely guarantee we're not going to see a rider with a construction time reduction this good for a while. And I'm hoping that they will be doing this every 4 to 5 or 6 seasons, so that, you know, players who are newer can actually get a decent construction reduction rider. But there's no way to know that this is going to happen. Now, apparently my math lately hasn't been ideal, but if you are spending about 2,000 hours of timers every single fortification event, and you get this rider with the extra 2% construction time reduction, that means each event you'll be spending 40 hours less of timers. And if you go over a year, that will turn into 480 hours of timers that you saved. So let's say that in a year, you get another chance at a rider like this with another increase in the construction time buff. All you really would have saved from getting this rider now is 480 timers. Now, if you look at the branches that are available this season, there are branches that you can get more than that from those branches. So skipping this branch and getting a different branch ends up getting you more timers overall. Now, you would have to calculate how many timers the Sola branch has and subtract it all out. But basically, what I'm saying is it's not going to make that big a deal, especially for the lower level players over a 1-year period. Now, if we don't see a rider better than this for 2 years, then that's more like 900 and something timers, and that starts to become a question of maybe I should have got that rider. But again, if you get a branch like the resource branch and focus on timers, you're going to get a ton of timers, and likely the difference of timers between the branch and getting this rider for the discount might not actually be that significant, especially if you consider the festive dragon and the draconic chest at the end. You get a ton of timers out of those, as well as other resources. There will also be a tower branch coming soon that we have heard will have the potential to have actually more timers than the previous one, but you will have to choose timers instead of electrum bars. So the overall branch value, they said, was reduced by about 50%, but that's because many of the electrum bars and timers were shifted into the same node where you'll have to choose between the two. Now, I actually do not think that this is a bad thing, because you can still get a ton of electrum bars if you need them, but you still have the choice of getting a ton of timers, which a lot of players really want. So in a nutshell, if you do not have a good defensive rider, Sola is an amazing defensive rider that you would be lucky to have if you were planning to get the next defensive rider that came available. Also, for higher level players, it makes a bigger difference because they're spending more timers in an event. If you are more a casual player, you won't reap the benefits quite as much, and you might be better off getting the tower branch or just going for the festive branch and getting as many of the draconic chests as possible from the last node that is repeatable, as long as the cost and reward stays the same as last season. So as always, I do hope this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next video.